This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're still in Stratford. It's the morning after. I'm joined by Bradley Skeete. So, yeah, it's about 10 a.m. After your fight, and I appreciate your time. Firstly, Bradley, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Just gutted, do you know what I mean? Just gutted. Obviously, what happened last night. But watching it back this morning, it's just disgusting. Do you know what I mean? Disgusting.
Obviously, a lot to go through and discuss, Bradley. Let's just talk about your actual performance itself. A lot of doubters about whether we could see the old Bradley Skeete last night against Hamzah Sheeraz. We certainly saw that, if not even probably better. That jab was popping out beautifully. Everyone practically at ringside had you up before the stoppage. Everyone watching on television had you up. I'm sure you've had that feedback as well.
Yeah, I was flying, do you know what I mean? Everyone's talking about the old Bradley Skeete and, oh, have I still got it? I told everyone, all them doubters, yeah, just like, shut your mouth, do you know what I mean? That I was far from finished. People don't know what was going on and that. I weren't me, that weren't me. Do you know what I mean? I've come back, had a break, come back, moved away, moved up to the Ingle gym. Look how I performed. Look at my performance. I was the old Bradley and better, like you said. So them doubters, shut your mouth. I'm 34. I just schooled this kid who's been spoken about, next world champion. I schooled him. He couldn't get near me. Do you know what I mean? Couldn't get near me. Only time he punched me was on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Landed clear shots when I was down on the floor, and the initial one was the back of my head. It's a liberty, mate.
Okay. Before we talk about that round, did you ever feel hurt in there before from Hamzah?
No, nothing was troubling me. No, I was comfortable. You could see I was enjoying myself. Shuffles, movement, southpaw, switching. My jab was unbelievable. I was beating him with my jab. Do you know what I mean? Everything was spot on. Listen, I feel he's a good. Listen, I don't want to even talk bad. He's a good. I like him. Do you know what I mean? He's a good kid and he's a good fighter. Do you know what I mean? But he ain't on my level. I said everyone's talking about experience. I was a better fighter than him, and it showed. I said it before. I know what I can do. I'm a good fighter. But like I said, I was dealing with him. I was way up on the scorecard. The only time he caught me properly and hurt me was the back of the headshot and the free when I was down on the floor. I couldn't even defend myself. Do you know what I mean? That's straight disqualification. The ref needs to have a word with himself. The ref needs to look at that back and have a word with himself. Steve Gray's a very good ref, and I respect him, but he's got that wrong big time. He told me when I went down, take as long as you want. Take as long as you want. And I said to him, that's a piss take. He hit me when I was down. He said, take as long as you want. Then he come back over and said, if you don't get up, I'm going to have to stop the fight. What am I meant to do? I'm a fighter anyway. You think I want to win? Start staying on the floor. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to get up. But that was a liberty. The ref, I weren't in no position to continue. Do you know what I mean? Look how I boxed all the way through. Then I got caught like that, and then it just went out the window. Do you know what I mean? It's a liberty. The liberty that needs to the Dom needs the board needs to look at that. The British Boxing Board need to look at that because that's a liberty. Less has happened before in the past fights, yeah, and that's been a no contest or disqualification. Look at that, 3 clear punches on the floor, a liberty, mate.
Will you and your team appeal this?
100%. Do you know what I mean? Make it a no contest. I'll run it back, fight him again. Do you know what I mean? He can't be happy with that. Deep down, hand on heart. Listen, I'm a fighting man, yeah. I've been hit on the floor. I didn't have to get up. I could have stayed down. He probably would have got disqualified. I got up and finished the fight, yeah. I tried to finish the fight. He's obviously a fighting man. He knows. He went to bed last night and knows he didn't win that fight. Do you know what I mean? Look on the internet. Look at the response. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. He knows. Do you know what I mean? He knows he got schooled. I wouldn't be happy with that. Do you know what I mean? The same way I wouldn't have been happy with staying on the floor getting a win. I wouldn't have won like that. I wouldn't have wanted to win like that. But rules are rules. Do you know what I mean? You can't win like that.
Of course, you're not happy with what the ref did, but can you appreciate maybe in the heat of the moment? Obviously, we're all humans. We make mistakes. It was kind of intense, that atmosphere. Live watching it can be difficult. Obviously, watching back on the television, it's very clear what happened with. I think he threw 3 shots whilst you were on the floor, 2 connected. But in the heat of the moment, can you kind of just I know you're upset right now, but just kind of sympathise with the ref, and he's made a mistake on that part.
He made a big mistake. I can sympathise, yeah, because I looked at it back. I knew I was in there myself last night. I knew it was bad because I knew the back of the head. It done me. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I went down. And then the three shots, the two what landed, were flush. Do you know what I mean? It should have put me asleep. You know, I weren't protecting myself. Do you know what I mean? So, but the ref was there to do a job. Like I say, Steve Gray's a great referee. He knows, he could see, he's there, he's in there, he see I was down and I've been hit clean. That's what's the rules? Like, he come in the changing room before. If you drop your opponent, go to the neutral corner. Do not hit them when you're down. That's the rule. That's what he told me. I'm sure he told Hamzah the same. So the rules are the rules. Do you know what I mean? Heated the moment or not. I weren't getting no favours in that fight. Frank's sitting there. Everyone's sitting there screaming and shouting. He's the golden boy. Do you know what I mean? What favours they gonna do me? Liberty, mate.
Did you feel like that was Hamzah's only way out in that fight?
He weren't doing nothing else. I mean, he got frustrated. I knew. I think the round before he was getting frustrated. He pushed me down. Do you know what I mean? The round before he pushed me down, swinging and that. I was making him miss for fun, like laughing at him. Like it was easy. It was easy in there. I was so switched on and doing what I do. That's me all day long. And he couldn't deal with it. He didn't have nothing to deal with it. Do you know what I mean? Listen. He's a good fighter. I'm not going to say that he's a good fighter, but he could not deal with me. Like, experience one, and as a fighter two. Everyone talk about experience. I'm a better fighter than Hamzah Sheeraz, and I proved it. Do you know what I mean? That, like, I'm gutted. This is. What can I say? Do you know what I mean? It's hurtful. Do you know what I mean? It's hurtful. I've put a lot into this, Umar. I've moved away. Like, I'm not even going to sound like a sob story because I've wanted to do it, but I've moved away. I had obviously that long way. Everyone wrote me off. Everyone thought I was done and finished. I was far from done and finished. I just needed a rest. I've come back, moved away, left my family and friends, moved up to Sheffield, put in the work. I've been grinding, and it's shown. Do you know what I mean? And then that to happen. Like, I'm just glad them doubters have watched that and seen like what I'm about.
I think my last question really is, do you believe the board will do the right thing and, I don't know, order that fight again or turn over that decision? And if they don't, do you believe Frank and Hamzah will give you the rematch?
It's disgusting, do you know what I mean? The board, if the British Boxing Board are the British Boxing Board that I know, they will look at that and change that. Listen, that they won't change it as a disqualification, but they change that to a no contest. Less has happened in the past. You got to look at less has happened in the past, and what comes to mind is Charlie Edwards and Martinez. That was less than that. Do you know what I mean? And that got changed to a no contest. The British Boxing Board, if they're the people I know and respect, they will look at that and change that to a no contest, and I'll run that back. No problem whatsoever. Frank and Hamzah, I'm not too sure. They probably want to go. They talk their talk, go there this way. Oh, I've beat him. Or this, that. But listen, they all know. He knows. His team knows. Frank knows. Everyone knows. I was the better man, and I was schooling him. End of.
All right. Well, listen, Bradley. I do appreciate your time. I'm sorry we have to speak in these kind of circumstances, but well done on a great fight. It was a very entertaining fight. Obviously, everyone had you up, and yeah, I think we would all like to see the rematch. Anything you'd like to add before we close off?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for everyone's support and for coming out to watch me and who tuned in to watch me. And just a big thank you to my sponsors, Ignite Recruitment Services, Rocky's Grab and Tipper Hire, Scott's Menwear and All Spec Group. Thank you.
All right, Bradley. Thank you.